Hi, everyone. My name's Julie, and I'll be hosting the event today. We'll give it just a few more minutes for people to start joining in here, but we look forward to talking to all of you. If you have questions, there is a chat function. There's no sound on your side, so please use the chat. It will either be answered directly to you, or if it's a general enough question, then we'll push that to the published chat. So don't worry if your chat doesn't, or if your question does not show up right away. We do have it and we'll get back to you. We'll give it just a few more minutes here. Hi, everyone. We'll still give people a couple minutes to join here, but we are aware of your time as well. So we'll get started in just another minute here. If you guys want to comment where you're from, maybe what fiber area you're in, so we can all see where you guys are joining us from today. Be happy to see that information. I'll just give people a couple more minutes to start joining. I see a couple of you are from our Newaygo area, which we just announced. We're excited to be able to finally move into that area. So it'll be exciting to move into our Newaygo service area. I know everyone here is really, happy that we can expand out into that region. I think we'll probably get started here. It's about 12:05. So my name is Julie, and I have been with Great Lakes Energy for 12 years now. I started in our member support department, and I've moved into our communications department. And now most of my focus is on Truestream communications and getting the word on Truestream out to all of our members. So, you know, we really like hosting rallies like this and connecting with the community and being able to answer your guys' questions that you have. So first up, we're going to talk a little bit about Truestream, how we came about, and what we're really about. We'll discuss our plans that we offer and the equipment that comes with those plans. We'll do the ever important construction update for everyone. That's the most exciting part for most people. And then we know that a lot of people have questions about streaming too, and you know what to do. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. As I mentioned, please feel free to submit your questions through the chat. It comes through as private, so if it's a question that we can answer just for you, then we will do that. If it's a general question that, you know, might be beneficial to everyone to be able to read, we'll put that out there and we'll answer those questions near the end of the presentation as well. So let's get started here. Truestream is run a little bit different than some of the other big guys out there, and we think that's a really good thing. And it reminds us a lot of when we brought electricity back in the 1940s to all of our members. The farmers all banded together because they needed a service that wasn't being provided to them. And based on various surveys and talking to our members, talking to you guys, we know that internet is a service that you guys now need, and it's not being brought to you, not in a good enough way. So we decided to launch Truestream to bring fiber internet, which is really the best of the best, to our members. Many of our employees live and work in the communities that you guys are in. Many of them are Truestreamers already, or many of them are waiting for Truestream just like you guys are. Patiently, maybe not so patiently, but we hope sort of patiently at least. And because we are members and we do work here, you know, we have an idea a little bit of what we want to see in the service. So that's what we've based our products around. So we do have 3 residential internet selections that you can use. We offer an ultra plan that's 100 megabits per second. That's 1 gig of service. And that's great if you have 10 or more devices in your house, if you're going to be streaming 4K TV, if you're a gamer, you know, they really like that ultra plan there. Maybe you're kind of a middle ground family. We do have a family plan for 200 megabits per second. And that's great for about 5 to 9 devices connected at any one time. And then we do also offer a basic plan that's 100 megabits per second, and that's good for, you know, 1 to 4 devices or so. Along with internet service, we do also offer a voice service. So if you bundle our telephone service along with our internet, you do get a $5 per month discount. We have business plans if you're interested in any of those. And we know that we have a lot of seasonal members as well. So if you're only at your house for a few months a year, we do have a vacation plan that you can be on for up to 6 months of that year. It's $25 per month, and it drops your internet service down to 1 to 3 megabits per second. So it's enough to run a security camera or something along those lines if you want to keep an eye on your house while you're gone. We also know that unlimited data is important to people. We don't want to limit how much you can use per month. That's not fun. We don't want to have any slowdowns out there. We're not going to ask you, you know, the best time of use to use your internet is at 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to get up to pay my bills at 4 o'clock in the morning. We know that you guys don't either. So there's no slowdowns. There's not a best time of use. You have a dedicated fiber line directly to your house. So that is your connection. You're not connected to your neighbors or anyone else on your street. There are no contracts, no hidden fees on there. So when we say that your bill is going to be $69.99 per month for that family plan, that's what your bill is going to be. The first month's bill is a little bit different. but after that, going forward, it's gonna be $69.99 per month. Voice services do have some taxes added in there, so that will vary just a little bit, but, you know, we don't have hidden costs in there. You're gonna be able to read the bill and know exactly what's happening on there. We do have 24/7 US-based tech support, so if you have any problems, you can give us a call and we'll be able to answer many of those questions right over the phone without even having to send someone out to your house. Our plans also offer symmetrical download and upload speeds, so if you want to download a movie, that's great, or download a video game or something along those lines. But if you need to upload pictures, upload videos, post Zoom meetings, things like that, the upload speed is what's really important for that. So having that symmetrical speed, so 100, 200, or 1 gig service for the upload speed is a big difference between us and the cable companies. No cable company can offer an upload speed that fast. We also supply a modem router unit for you free of cost. There's no rental fees on those, and you don't have to buy your own or supply your own. And then, as I mentioned before, we do have a $5 per month discount if you do bundle your phone and internet. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, I only have 1 to 4 devices right now, so, you know, the basic plan is probably fine for me. And that might be good for you to start out with, but as you have this reliable connection with the unlimited data, you're not worried about anything as far as going over or anything like that, you might start seeing that you're adding more devices to your house. So maybe you think, really like to get that Alexa so I can listen to, you know, music in the house or hear the news on that. I'd really like to start turning my house into a smart home and have, you know, lights and everything that can be controlled right from my phone. TVs, phones, if you have, you know, multiple people using phones and TVs and gaming systems at the same time, you're going to start to see a little bit of a slowdown if you're on that lower plan, because like our pizza graph here shows, the smaller your plan, it takes each device takes up a piece of that. So if you have a big plan, it takes up a piece of that bandwidth, but not quite as much because you have more to go around. So do you anticipate adding more devices to your house? And because we don't have contracts, you can switch your plan anytime, as long as you've been on that plan for 30 days. Changing plans is easy. You just need to give us a call. You're not locked in, nothing along those lines. So here's a little bit of the information about the equipment that we have. So once service is getting close to your house, you're going to see this gray box installed on the side of your house. That's called a NID. And that's where our fiber line comes from the main line, probably out on the road, to the side of your home, and it will connect right there. The installation tech will then get into that box, connect to the fiber line, and bring that into your house. We recommend putting your modem and router that we provide in a central location so you can get the best signal from that. But we'll work with you on where you would like that equipment placed. Some of you in our Hart or Newaygo areas, just because that NID box is on your house, it doesn't always mean that you're ready for installation. So as our construction crews are coming through, they're building the main line, they're trying to get as much done to the house as they can as well. So we ask that you return your paperwork so we can get all of those done at the same time in the same area while we're there. That doesn't mean that the whole network is lit up and ready for service necessarily yet though. So we might have some construction to figure out. So you might have that gray box on the side of your house for a little while. We appreciate your patience. As soon as that network's ready to go, we'll be giving you a call to schedule that in-home installation. So it's also important that you keep your phone numbers updated on your account. Some of the optional equipment that we have a Wi-Fi mesh available. You can connect up to 3 of them if maybe a corner of your house is not getting the best service, or you know, you want to try and reach out to your fire pit or something along those lines. So you can try the Wi-Fi mesh and see if that gives you enough reach to get to those locations. There are some things that interfere with the Wi-Fi signal. I know certain windows do, mirrors, vertical blinds sometimes will affect that signal. So there's just some different factors, what your house is made out of, that will affect the strength of that signal. So that Wi-Fi mesh might be needed in some of those instances. We do also offer a battery backup. There are 3 different sizes available for that. And we really recommend a battery backup if you take voice service, because if the power goes out, your phone is connected to the modem and router, which needs power. So if the power is out, you would have no phone service. And you would probably need an actual corded phone, if you remember what those look like. I know mine used to stretch all the way from the kitchen to the dining room and living room, and the good old days of the corded phones. So those don't need electricity, the corded phones don't, but the battery backup will supply enough power to your modem and router for you to be able to operate your voice services for an approximate amount of time, and that's where the 3 sizes come in. Skip right over. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about construction. This is, our most frequently asked question: when are you going to come to my house? And I wish that we could tell you an exact date, but being on the new side of a company, construction is, we have an overwhelming amount of people signing up. We're getting to as many people as fast as we can, but there's not exactly set times that we can predict for your exact location in most cases. So if you're in our Heart service area and you're in our baseline Newaygo, Shelby, Silver Lake 2, or Rogers area, as long as you've returned that paperwork in the time that we asked, chances are you have the construction to your home, and we're working on the installations, or we're almost done with the construction to your home, and we'll get you connected soon. We have announced that we're doing construction. We're beginning our construction in our Silver Lake 1, 3, and 4 areas, our Hesperia areas, and then our Heart 3 area as well. So Silver Lake, the mainline construction has begun through that area, and we're still on track for seeing in-home installations beginning in the late spring. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll be at your exact house on the first day of spring, but we are working and we will come through and we will get to your area and your installation. Heart 3 and Hesperia mainline will begin very soon, and those installations are still expected to begin in the late spring as well. And then our Hesperia 1 and 2, the main line is also going to begin in that area soon. Installations will probably be a little bit closer to the summer. If you're joining us from our Wayland 4 area, the in-home installations are ongoing right now. If you've returned your paperwork, we're getting all of those folks connected. And then we will be announcing additional construction areas in our Wayland for this year as well, and that will come out a little bit later this year. If you're joining us from our newly announced Newaygo service area, we are still set to begin construction later this spring, and the in-home installations are expected to begin probably late summer into the fall. So as we get a little bit more into this, we'll break this up a little bit too, and which areas we'll see those installations probably starting first. So keep an eye on our construction blog on truestreamfiber.com. If you haven't checked that out, I'd recommend heading over there. We update that about once a month, and we usually try and provide as close of dates as we can for you to expect the installation or the construction to begin in your area. There is still time to register in our Newaygo area to qualify for that free in-home installation. So you have until March 18th to register, and then you return some paperwork that we'll send you in the mail by the 8th. And really encourage your friends and family and your neighbors and everyone else to register too. We really appreciate you know, how much people are on our side and on Truestream side, and we know everyone's really anxious for service. So just encourage your, you know, friends to register as well, so we can get everyone connected as quickly as we can. If you're from our Boyne service area, we're mostly active here. We're still finishing up some connections in our Corwith and Elmira areas, and Central Lake 3 was delayed for a while, but we have found a workaround for that construction. So we are still actively installing in our Central Lake 3 areas and building to the home. Same goes for our Petoskey service area. It's in service now. If you register for service now, it might be a little bit of a delay there to get service, but we are actively connecting people still in our Petoskey area. Okay, so we're also doing some fielding. I think we've wrapped up our waters fielding area. They will probably see some construction in parts of waters starting in 2023. Same with our Kalkaska service area. So we're wrapping up the fielding there right now. So we know what it's going to take to build there. And then parts of the Kalkaska service area will probably see some construction starting in 2023 as well. Okay, so next we'll move into a little bit about streaming, and we know that streaming can be a little bit intimidating, but we want to be here to help you. Truestream does not offer a TV service, but we do want to help you get the best out of your TV. So on the screen now are a few devices that you can use to stream TV. If you have a smart TV, you're more than welcome to use that. If you have a dumb TV like me at my house, then you might want to think about a streaming device, and those can be purchased at any big box store or off of Amazon or anything like that. So those usually plug directly into your TV, and they just turn it into a smart TV. Once you have that set up, the next question is, what streaming service should I have? And that's a really big question. You know that there are some channels that you don't want to miss. So let me switch over here. We have recently partnered with an outside service called My Bundle. And what that does for us is it kind of customizes the streaming plans to you specifically and what you want to watch. So from TrueStreamFiber.com, in our services tab, there's a cutting the cord option. First, we want to make sure that you're registered for Truestream. If you haven't done that already, obviously we encourage you to register. Next, if you want to find out which streaming service might be best for you, you can visit our My Bundle site. So first, we're going to ask you a couple questions. In my house, we have adults and children. I'm in our Petoskey area. And all of these questions are helping to determine what service is going to be best for you. So the zip code, they need to know what local channels you'll be able to get in your area. Do you like to record shows? We do. My house has all of these. We mostly use a Roku to stream. Are live sports important to you? More so my husband than me, but I'll check yes for him. I am a Truestream customer already. And oh my gosh, once I started thinking about how many devices we actually have connected in my house, it was actually a little bit shocking. But I have, a husband, I have 3 kids at home. We have phones, we have tablets, we have Alexas, we have a smart thermostat. All of our appliances now are starting to be Wi-Fi enabled. So, you know, by the time I added that up, I think we had about 18 smart devices in my house. How did you hear about Truestream? I'm going to say employee, friend, neighbor for myself, and we'll just add in. Obviously, you would put your the whole address in there. So this is the next cool screen where you can actually pick which channels, you know, are really important to you to watch. So obviously, the more channels that you pick, the less likely you're going to be able to have just one streaming service. So if you find your most important ones, my bundle, partnered with Truestream here, will give you the best option for what you're looking for. So we'll say we want CBS, NBC, Fox. If you don't know what channel, maybe you know a show that you want to watch, you don't know what channel it's on, you can also type in a channel here and it will add that channel directly to your list. And you'll see down here, it's starting to add up our channels that we've selected. I'm just going to throw some random things in here, and then you can just click next. Once you're happy with, these are the channels that I need to watch the shows that I want to watch, you'll click next. If you want the recommendations emailed to you, you can enter your email address, or you can just use search results as well. So I chose just a few. So now it's going to recommend which streaming service is really going to be best for me based on those channels that I picked, which it recommends YouTube TV for me. And that matches 86% of the shows. And what I clicked Fox Sports Detroit, and YouTube TV does not offer that, but there's no replacement for it either. It will always offer kind of a great value. So it might not, this only has 57% of the shows or the channels that are required. But, you know, if I add in Paramount Plus, that's $5 a month, this might be a good option for me. And then there's always a sort of a direct antenna and maybe a couple add-ons that would help cover. From here, you can click learn more. You can go register for that service. You can learn more about all of the channels that service offers. So it's really a neat tool to have out there. And we hope that that's really helpful to you guys. So you can maybe cut the cord and start saving some money from your traditional satellite or cable. Okay, with that, I think we've gone through most of the presentation. So let's switch over and we'll answer some of your questions. Let's see what we have in the general questions here. Big up close picture of my face now. Tracy, do you want to look at some of the general questions and see what we might have to answer for people?
Sure, a lot of them got answered privately, but it wouldn't hurt to say them out loud. One question is, will antivirus security be included with the internet service? Les's answer was, we currently don't offer built-in antivirus protection, so you would want to get a third-party antivirus software for your devices. And he did recommend, you said you would purchase one and install it yourself. And they have many options out there. For example, Norton and AVG. You would want to look at prices and see what would best meet your virus security needs for your devices. Another question was, if someone wanted to have internet only 6 months of the year, and then we would offer a $25 a month, and then what speed would that be? And it says the seasonal rates offer speeds at 1 megabyte per second download and 3 megabyte per second upload.
So that will give you a little bit of range there if you do want to have, you know, a couple security cameras or something it can upload to your device so you can kind of monitor your location while you're not there.
Another question was how far a radius or square feet will a Wi-Fi router transmit Wi-Fi signal? Les answered, when it comes to how far Wi-Fi will reach, this will mainly be determined on your router placement in your home and what kinds of materials the signal will have to pass through. An example would be if you would lose more signal going through a brick wall than you would going through drywall. The technician will be able to determine while on site at the time of your install if you would need a Wi-Fi range extender, or if we could give you some tips on router placement to maximize your range in your desired locations in your home.
Yep, and that's a good one. You know, some people want to tuck it away so you can't see it. Maybe they want it in a cabinet or, you know, in the basement, and that's not necessarily the best placement if you want to get the most out of your Wi-Fi.
Another question I don't see an answer on yet was how do we get local TV stations?
Okay, there's a couple different ways. Some streaming services offer local TV. I know I have YouTube TV at my house right now, and I get all of my local channels up here. Some people go the antenna route still. You can certainly do that. I know Boo and DirecTV offer some local channels as well. And so if you go through the My Bundle process, it will show you exactly what channels are offered for that service.
Okay. One other one I see is if I'm using my internet for working from home and I have kids gaming plus smart TVs, would the largest plan be best for me? And the answer was the family plan might be your best bet, but you can always upgrade to the faster plan if you find that you want to connect more devices.
Yep, depending on, you know, who's gaming, what they're doing on there, and I know gaming takes up kind of a big amount of that bandwidth pizza that we showed, and I can go back to the graphic if we want. So, like we mentioned, there are no contracts, so you can switch if you want. I personally have the gig plan at my house. I used to have cable from a local company, and my kids were constantly coming to me saying, Mom, the Kindle's not connected. It says it's not on the internet. And that was before working from home and doing all of that. So we weren't even streaming TV at that point. So you'll kind of get a feel the more devices that you're connected. You know, now we never have a problem with connection issues. I primarily work from home still. You know, the kids are watching TV. My husband, for some reason, thinks he needs to watch stream TV and have another streaming TV on his phone, like he can multitask, which I beg to differ. But so he'll have both of those going on at the same time. I'm on my phone, you know, checking out Facebook or checking emails, you know, after dinner and things like that. And the kids are doing what kids do. So the more devices that you start adding in, the more bandwidth that you're going to start taking up. And, you know, you can switch to that gig plan. You can see if that seems better, or you can start with the 200 and see how that goes for you. One other thing that I was going to mention, sometimes it comes up, Truestream does not offer an email address. So if your current email address is through your internet provider, would recommend looking into maybe a free email address, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, Outlook, something along those lines, and start switching, you know, any of your important billing and whatever you get in your emails over to that free one, because as soon as you change to Truestream, you're going to lose that email address that you had associated with your previous internet provider if they provided that for you.
Good deal. I have another question here. They are wondering if support is available on the weekends.
sure is 24/7, 365 days a year. So they're there on the holidays. They're there in the middle of the night. Our first recommendation probably will always be restart your router, unplug it, plug it back in, see if that helps. If that does not help, then we sure recommend calling. And we offer free managed Wi-Fi, so they can kind of see behind the scenes what's going on and diagnose a lot of those issues right from the office without having a tech having to come out there and check anything. Or they can know if it is something that the tech would have to come out to look at.
Perfect. Here's another question. How often and easy is it to switch from vacation mode to use mode?
It's just a phone call away, but you do need to be, and Dale can correct me if we need to, or Seth on the calls here. You do need to be on the plan for 30 days. You can't switch for just a weekend, turn the plan on and then turn it back off if you're up for, a ski weekend or something like that. It does need to be on that plan for a full billing cycle.
And those changes are made Monday through Friday during normal business hours as well.
Yes, tech support does not have the ability to do that at this time.
Another question is, what length of time is the seasonal rate offered for? And Les answered, it's offered for up to 6 months per calendar year. Is that in a group, Julie? Or is it 6 months total? So if you turn it on and turn it back off, you can do that. Okay.
6 months total, so you could have it on for 1 month and then off for the next month and then back on. We find most people, are snow bunnies. They go away for the winter. I can't blame them with the weather today. I want to go away too, but yeah, it's just a phone call away then to get that turned back on when they do come back up.
I see Les is replying to this right now, but Julie, maybe how does 100 megabytes per second of fiber compare to 100 megabytes per second of cable? And then, looks like his answer's up. You want me to just read that? Okay. A couple of differences that you would see is if a lower ping, which would benefit you for gaming, and this is also as symmetrical speeds of 100 megabyte per second download and upload, whereas cable usually offers 10% of the upload speed. So 100 megabyte per second package means a 10 megabyte megabyte per second upload.
Yeah, and I would also add to that, my cable company told me my speeds are up to 100 megabits per second, but that's copper lines running down your road. You're sharing that connection with anyone that's on that same copper line as you. So, if my neighbors are streaming, my service is going to slow down too because we're sharing that connection. So on most days, if I would do a speed test, when I had cable, it was about 40 was the max that I ever saw for a download speed. Now, with fiber, another big difference is we run that fiber line directly to your house. You're not sharing that with your neighbor. So there's a main line that goes down the road, but you have a designated fiber line directly to your house that you don't need to share. It doesn't matter if your neighbors are gaming or streaming or doing anything. You have your own connection. So when you do a speed test on a device that's capable of, 100 megabits per second or 200 or a gig, you're going to see those speeds instead of, 40 or 30 or depending on what my neighbor's doing, 20. So it is a big difference when you really get down to it and, with the work from home, connecting to all of the Zoom meetings and all of that, it does make a big difference.
I'm not seeing anything else so far.
All right, well, we are available. You can email us anytime. We do have a Facebook page that we respond to quite frequently, and we post updates there. If you haven't gone to that page, you might want to check that out if you're a Facebook person. And then, like I mentioned before, keep an eye on our Truestream blog on truestreamfiber.com under the news section. We do update that about once a month. And for those of you just getting into the construction process, I'll also let you know, as you move through the steps, we do try and email you to let you know what's happened, what's going to be happening next at your location. So keep an eye on your email for that. You know, maybe even look in the junk folder. Things might get put over there on accident instead. So we do try and keep you as informed as we can. I might not be able to tell you that your exact installation date at your house is going to be June 5th, but we do try and keep you updated along the way with the information that we do have and what's going on at your location. Okay, so with that, I believe that we'll have a recording of this that will be sent out if you want to watch again, or if you want to share with friends and family. We'll get that emailed back out to you. And with that, I think we will end this if we don't have any more questions. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you participating. We can't wait to get you connected. And we'll chat with you soon. Thank you.